Hello and welcome back to Efrain Rodriguez Jr. show. In today's show, I'm gonna start with this news that was this couple that came from Florida, and this was viral. They found charges on them, and they went to court. And this is very important because they're coming from a place that during COVID, all the schools were open, everybody was still working. It was a normal thing because some governors in different places, they really took different approaches to this pandemic of the COVID. So they're coming from a place that are like free, and now they're coming to Puerto Rico and they just get slapped with so many different restrictions and so many different things. And me, since November, I'm going on 2 years. In November, I haven't been into a restaurant, and I love going out and eat because some places there are delicious food, and they start asking for the back ID, and I don't have it, so you're not going to those places. So I said, well, okay, so you're not getting my money. So it's not my attitude and my approach to this, like arrogant, but I don't want to get this experimental drug into me. I had the right to say no. You're not forcing me to take it. So so the charges were dismissed against the couple who refused to fill out travelers' declaration. The secret order that they allege violate is no longer in effect. Judge Francisco Borelli Irizarry of the Court of Carolina today dismissed the less serious charges for resistance to public authority against the couple of Suma Figueroa Cordova, 53, and her husband Luis Colon, 44, under protection of Rule 64A of a criminal procedure because the accusation or complaint does not charge a crime, reported the press office to the court administration of the court administration. I feel happy for them that executive order was no longer in effect by the time they go to court, but the judge can say it's no longer in effect, so do nothing about it. But if you guys remember, they make a big deal with this couple, and they were coming from Florida. Everything was open in Florida, so it's extremely ridiculous the way they did it with this couple, for real. So, and other news from the newspaper spokesperson, El Vocero, the status project for Puerto Rico is approved in the Natural Resources Committee of the Federal House. The project had 25 votes in favor and 20 against. The Natural Resource Committee of the Federal House of Representatives endorsed today, Wednesday, the project that seeks to resolve the status of Puerto Rico with a consultation endorsed by Congress between the options of statehood, independence, and free association. The project had 25 votes and 20 against. And I want to do a small pause on this. I know, and this time the Democrats have the House, and also with the vice president, they had the Senate and the president. So it could be a miracle that this could happen and Puerto Rico becomes state 51. You know, But on the other side, there's upcoming elections coming in November, and we all know that with the state of the nation the way it is right now, Democrats are in big, big trouble. It's a mess. They're continue trying to push to people. You go to the news and transgender reaffirmation, and I've seen that happening in the news in Puerto Rico. I mean, they should go like, mental illness for people, because, never become a woman if you're a guy, and you can never become a guy if you are a woman. It's gonna stay like that forever. But it's not what is biology what is important. It's just the feeling, how I feel to stay. Do I feel a little manly, or I feel a little girly today? So it's all about feelings, and it's gonna be big trouble coming up, because they're trying to do all this into the schools and everywhere, and it's gonna be a big mess. So this whole thing can change. The good thing about this is that we've seen a commitment, and it's gonna move forward, and this can be like a miracle. You never know. And it's important to know all these things, because there's several different things. Since I was in the college back in a long time ago, I remember that we were paying so much in taxes, and now our taxes are really killing us big time, over 33%. And sales tax, and so many cream, and so many different things. Our dollar is less, and it's getting smaller by the second, not counting with the 9.1% of inflation. So all these things are good, plus something big can happen in November, and this gonna continue moving, because if this is, done deal, the plebiscite is gonna move forward. It's gonna move forward. So from there to, educating the people, and that's why, we gotta see how the Republicans see all this status situation, and we just talked about it yesterday a little bit. So it is a good thing. It's not a bad thing. But, it has consequences. So from there, we are going to our Commander-in-Chief, Joe Biden, announces a series of measures to fight climate change. I don't know. Just to say to fight, I mean, you got to be a fighter. You got to be. But when we see an a guy that is driving a bicycle, and it fails, and I know I'm been falling from my bike, and I have a road bike with cleats, and sometimes it gets stuck. In your case was a lot different, and you boom. I see you falling in that bike. I know the feeling. Done a couple myself. It's bad. And I was not even 50 back then. Now I'm a little bit over 50. A couple of days. A fight is a fight. So let's see. The president did not formally declare a climate emergency. Something that Democrats and environmental groups have requested. Oh, the far left. They're just pushing him more and more. Go left, more left. When he campaigned, he was trying to campaign like center, but now he's governing so far left that this is gonna cost, and they're gonna be a big change because people are not idiots. I mean, you have a guy from the middle of nowhere in Villalba, Puerto Rico, talking about this, and it has a little knowledge. Imagine the people that live in the States. Me from here, I can see I know you you say this on your campaign. Yeah, oh yeah, okay. But we're 9.1. Imagine putting more money into the economy. Printing money like that. Man, I wish I can have a printing machine like that laying around here somewhere. You printing what? Somerset, Massachusetts. President Joe Biden on Wednesday announces a series of modest steps to combat climate change and promise more significant action in the future because this is an emergency and I will treat it as such. You know, the newspaper spoke about it, but, you know, they're waiting and kind of like want him to do something like right there at that moment. It didn't happen. But later he come and said, let me be clear. The president said, climate change is an emergency and it will come in weeks. And in the coming weeks, I will use the powers that I have as president to turn these words into formal and official actions. I had no words because I'm speechless. It's supposed to be the most powerful man in the world. This is America. But I'm gonna say something, but then I will use later something that it will do what I just said that it was gonna happen. I'm a little confused. I'm not trying to be funny about this, but you are the president of the United States. You're far left extremist. We're waiting for you to do it right there at that moment. Oh, no, no, no. Gotta think about it. Might do this later on. I mean, you've been doing worse things like closing the pipe of, you know, our petrol and gas. And now we are really seeing that change on the pump. And I hope everybody that goes in boat, even if I had to go just to go and boat, I will boat. I mean, I'm being here, but my resident is kind of still like New York still. Even in New York, I lose my boat each time because there's so many Democrats there, and I'm a conservative. Anyhow, let's go back to what he says. When it comes to the climate change, I will not take no for an answer. He added. I mean, you're the president of the United States. Should not be like explaining yourself. I mean, I'll be the worst president of the United States because, I mean, with the standards that you are saying right now, and your standards are kind of like you're saying things, but you're not doing it. But then later you say, I will use the powers that I have. Dude, you are the president of the United States. And mom, in what world we're living? Alrighty, so from there, I'm gonna take you to a very great news. An engineer from Barranquitas. This is Villalba, Barranquita is like next town over. She's my neighbor. Hey, she's my neighbor. Hopefully one day she'll see this video and say, "Oh, he's so sweet." Thank you. Will be the first woman Puerto Rican to travel space. I hope, she said, be a source of pride for Puerto Rico. Dude, you will be big time. To going into space on a Blue Origin suborbital trip. Joan Mendez, that's her name, Joan Mendez Misner, became the first Puerto Rican woman to have the opportunity to go into space on a Blue Origin suborbital budget. Joan is an integration engineer at Cape Cañaveral, and it's one of 5 people from the diverse experience and backgrounds who were chosen to inspire and excite thousands of others to discover the space. Dude, you already did. You're gonna be an icon. Hopefully everything goes right, up and down, and you come back. The mission has been called Space Plus 5, and she's one of them. This will be a suborbital trip by the aerospace company Blue Origin aboard in the new shipper rocket. The launch date is not yet public, but will begin in September, with the flight will last about 20 minutes. And although time is short, it will be a unique experience to enjoy. I mean, the view is going to be beautiful, unpardonable view. That will be reaching the imaginary limit between the atmosphere and the outer space, an area unknown as the Kármán Line, about 62 miles above sea level. So when we travel, we go around 35,000 miles. So she's gonna go pretty much double that. And did you see gravity? It's gonna be like, I mean, it's not gonna burn so much petrol, gas, or whatever. Being in there, it has to be the most amazing experience of all times. A great experience. I'm so happy she's my neighbor. You imagine she's from Palmasola? I would be like, she's my cousin. I'm glad this happened today and we had the chance to bring all this into this beautiful day. So we'll be back tomorrow with more. And thanks for following and liking that video. I know it's not a lot of people watching this video, but I'm gonna continue come every single day. I mean, unless I die, that's the day you not see me here. I used to call it in the other channel, I will finish when God sent me the ticket. All right, from Palmasola, Villalba, Puerto Rico, your host, Efraín Rodriguez Jr. in Efraín Rodriguez Jr. Show. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace. God bless you.